There's never enough time to do everything you have to do. You are literally swamped with work and personal responsibilities. There will always be more to do than you can ever accomplish in the time you have available to you. No matter how much time it is, get control of your time and your life only by changing the way you think, work, and deal with a never-ending river of responsibilities that flows over you each day. You can get control of your tasks and activities only to the degree that you stop doing some things and start spending more time on the few activities that can really make a difference in your life. Just find out what successful people do and do the same things until you get the same results. Wow, what an idea. Simply put, some people are doing better than others because they do certain things differently and they do the right things right. Especially, they use their time far, far better than the average person. Coming from an unsuccessful background, I realized that I could change my life and achieve almost any goal I could set for myself if I just found out what others were doing in that area and then did it myself until I got the same results they were getting. I have found a simple truth. The ability to concentrate single-mindedly on your most important task, to do it well, and to finish it completely is the key to great success, achievement, respect, status, and happiness in life. The key to success is action. The faster you learn and apply them, the faster you will move ahead in your career, guaranteed. This is a wonderful time to be alive. There have never been more possibilities and opportunities for you to achieve more of your goals than exist today. In fact, there are so many good things you can do that your ability to decide among them may be the critical determinant of what you accomplish in life. If you're like most people today, you're overwhelmed with too much to do and too little time. Because of this, you will never be able to do everything you have to do. You will always be behind in some of your tasks and responsibilities, and probably in many of them. An average person who develops the habit of setting clear priorities and getting important tasks completed quickly will run circles around the genius who talks a lot and makes wonderful plans but gets very little done. It's been said for many years that if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you can then go through the day with the satisfaction of knowing that it's probably the worst thing that's going to happen to you all day long. Your frog is your biggest, most important task. It's also the one task that can have the greatest positive impact on your life and results. It's also been said that if you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. This is another way of saying that if you have 2 important tasks, start with the biggest, hardest, and most difficult task first and think of this as a test. Resist the temptation to start with the easier task. Continually remind yourself that one of the most important decisions you make each day is your choice of what you will do immediately and what you will do immediately and what you will do later, if you do it at all. The key to reaching high levels of performance and productivity is for you to develop the lifelong habit of tackling your major task first thing each morning. Successful, effective people are those who launch directly into their major tasks and then discipline themselves to work steadily and single-mindedly until those tasks are complete. Failure to execute is one of the biggest problems in organizations today. They talk continually, hold endless meetings, and make wonderful plans, but in the final analysis, no one does the job and gets the results required. Fully 95% of your success in life and work will be determined by the kinds of habits that you develop over time. The habit of setting priorities, overcoming procrastination, and getting on with your most important task is a mental and physical skill. This habit is learnable through practice and repetition over and over again until it locks in your subconscious mind and becomes a permanent part of your behavior. Task completion gives you a positive feeling. One of the keys to living a wonderful life, having a successful career, and feeling terrific about yourself is for you to develop the habit of starting and finishing important jobs. At that point, this behavior will take on a power of its own, and you'll find it easier to complete important tasks than not to complete them. Fortunately, your mind is like a muscle. It grows stronger and more capable with use. You can learn any behavior or develop any habit that you consider either desirable or necessary. You need 3 qualities to develop the habits of focus and concentration, which are all learnable. First, make a decision to develop the habit of task completion. Second, discipline yourself to practice the principles you're about to learn until you master them. And finally, back everything you do with determination until the habit is locked in and becomes a permanent part of your personality. See yourself as the kind of person who gets important jobs done quickly and well, on a consistent basis. Visualize yourself as the person you intend to be in the future. When you train yourself through repetition and practice to overcome procrastination and get your most important task completed quickly, you will move yourself onto the fast track in your life and career and step on the accelerator. Before you can determine your frog and get on with eating it, you have to decide exactly what you want to accomplish in each area of your life. Clarity is the most important concept in personal productivity. A major reason for procrastination and lack of motivation is vagueness, confusion, and fuzzy-mindedness about what you are supposed to do, and in what order and for what reason. Here's a great rule for success. Think on paper. Only about 3% of adults have clear written goals. There's a powerful formula for setting and achieving goals that you can use for the rest of your life. Many graduates of my training programs have increased their incomes dramatically in a matter of a few years or even a few months with this simple 7-step method. Step number 1, decide exactly what you want. Either decide for yourself or sit down with your boss and discuss your goals and objectives until you are crystal clear about exactly what is expected of you and in what order of priority. Here's another rule. One of the very worst uses of time is to do something very well that need not be done at all. Step number 2, write it down. Think on paper. A goal or objective that's not in writing is merely a wish or a fantasy. It has no energy behind it. Step number 3, set a deadline on your goal. Without a definite deadline accompanied by the assignment or acceptance of specific responsibilities for completion, you will naturally procrastinate and get very little done. Step number 4, make a list of everything that you can think of that you're going to have to do to achieve your goal. A list gives you a visual picture of the larger task or objective. It dramatically increases the likelihood that you will achieve your goal as you have defined it and on schedule. Step number 5, organize the list into a plan. Decide what has to be done before something else and what needs to be done afterwards. Lay out your plan visually in the form of a series of boxes and circles on a sheet of paper. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is to achieve your goal when you break it down into individual tasks. Step number 6, take action on your plan immediately. An average plan vigorously executed is far better than a brilliant plan on which nothing is done. And finally, step number 7, resolve to do something every single day that moves you toward your major goal. Read a specific number of pages on a key subject, call on a specific number of prospects or customers, engage in a specific period of physical exercise, learn a certain number of new words in a foreign language. Once you start moving, this discipline alone can make you one of the most productive and successful people of your generation. Clear written goals have a wonderful effect on your thinking. They stimulate your creativity, release your energy, and help you to overcome procrastination. Goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. The bigger your goals and the clearer they are, the more excited you become about achieving them, the more you think about your goals. The greater becomes your inner drive and desire to accomplish them. Every morning when you begin, take action on the most important task you can accomplish to achieve your most important goal. At the moment, your mind, your ability to think, plan, and decide is your most powerful tool for overcoming procrastination and increasing your productivity. Your ability to set your goals, plan, and take action on them determines the course of your entire life. Your ability to plan well in advance of acting is a measure of your overall competence. The better the plan you have, the easier it is for you to overcome procrastination, to get started, to eat your frog, and then to keep going. The good news is that every minute spent in planning saves as many as 10 minutes in execution. This small investment of time will save you at least 2 hours, 100 to 120 minutes in wasted time and diffused effort throughout the day. Before you begin, always work from a list. When something new comes up, add it to the list before you do it. You can increase your productivity and output by 25 or more from the very first day that you begin working consistently from a list. The more time you take to make written lists of everything you have to do in advance, the more effective and efficient you will be. First, you should create a master list on which you write down everything that you can think of that you want to do sometime in the future. Second, you should have a monthly list that you make up at the end of the month for the month ahead. Third, you should have a weekly list where you plan your entire week in advance. This discipline of systematic time planning can be very helpful to you. Finally, you should transfer items from your monthly and weekly list onto your daily list. These are the specific activities that you are going to accomplish the following day. This activity gives you a visual picture of accomplishment. It generates a feeling of success and forward motion. Seeing yourself working progressively through your list motivates and energizes you. It raises your self-esteem, self-respect. Steady, visible progress propels you forward and helps you to overcome procrastination. One of the most important rules of personal effectiveness is the 10-90 rule. This rule says that the first 10% of time that you spend planning and organizing your work before you begin will save you as much as 90% of the time in getting the job done. Once you get started, make a list of all your projects, the big multitask jobs that are important to your future. Lay out each of your major goals, projects, or tasks by priority. What is most important and by sequence? What has to be done first? What has to be done first? What comes second, and so forth. Each of these tasks may take the same amount of time to accomplish, but one or two of these tasks will contribute 5 or 10 times the value of any of the others. Often, one item on a list of 10 tasks that you have to do can be worth more than all the other 9 items put together. This task is invariably the frog that you should eat. The most valuable tasks you can do each day are often the hardest and most complex, but the payoff and rewards for completing these tasks efficiently can be tremendous. Here's a rule for success, or be tremendous. Here's a rule for success. Resist the temptation to clear up small things first. Remember, whatever you choose to do over and over again eventually becomes a habit that's hard to break. If you choose to start your day on low-value tasks, you will soon develop the habit of always starting and working on low-value tasks. This is not the kind of habit you want to develop or keep. Once you actually begin work on a valuable task, you seem to be naturally motivated to continue. The fact is that the amount of time required to complete an important job is often the same as the time required to do an unimportant job. The difference is that you get a tremendous feeling of pride and satisfaction from the completion of something valuable and significant. Time management is really life management, personal management. Time management is control over what you do next, and you're always free to choose the task that you will do next. Your ability to choose between the important and the unimportant is the key determinant of your success in life and work. Effective, productive people discipline themselves to start on the most important task that is before them. They accomplish vastly more than the average person and are much happier as a result. This should be your way of working as well.